We are here not only to celebrate and toast, we are going to have time for it tonight, but in this very moment, we are gathering to talk. We are gathering to exchange ideas. We are gathering to study the boundaries of pizza. And we are going to try to find not solutions, but some answers to some possible questions with a lot of friends coming from different shades of this beautiful industry. So my name is Paolo Vizzari. Usually I write about food, but when it comes to the best chef family, usually I stay on the stage with a mic. And today I'm going to be your voice and ears to help the conversation with some of the most important people in the food industry around the world. So with no more hesitation, I would start with the very first panel. We are going to go through 3 different topics, and the first one, it's about craft, the cross-contamination of craft. We are going to discuss how fine dining meets pizza, what happens when they do that, and for this reason, we decided to get on the stage 2 main players of this game. So I will start from the closest one, at least geographically speaking, because we have to fly to Caiazzo. We are in the province of Caserta, and we are here with one of the kings of contemporary pizza, but I think it doesn't need much introduction in this room. So please welcome on stage with me from Pepe and Grani, Franco Pepe. Ciao Franco, buongiorno. Then we have the first surprise of the day, because we are not only talking about pizza, as I promised, we are trying to travel through hospitality. And in order to explore this bridge between pizza and fine dining, we have a great chef coming from Copenhagen, where he got 2 stars. He won the Best Chef Awards like 65 times in the last 5 years. And he represents the future and also the present, I would say, of fine dining. So from restaurant Alchemist, let's welcome on the stage Rasmus Munk. Ciao Rasmus, good to see you. This is your weapon. Here we are, guys. We are not gonna waste any time because we are all here to listen your thoughts and your ideas. But even before starting, I would show them something representing a moment you shared together. And yeah, Rasmus, you didn't know it because it's about your event, but it was made by Franco. So we are going to start from a video that tells us the story of an event which was held in Copenhagen in the end of January, and was kind of a cool gathering of friends, I would say. But I will not spoil anything. I would start with the video, and then we will talk about it.
Incredibile.
So why did we see one of the best pizzaiolos of history up there in Copenhagen? Before going to Franco and ask him about his presence there, I would love to ask you, Rasmus, to tell us in a few words what is Convergence and how it was born, because I know it's related to your will of creating a strong community and not only building a great restaurant.
Yeah, that was very emotional to see this. Actually, I've not looked at any video material from Convergence since we did it in January.
Too much.
Yeah, it was quite intense. But Convergence was an idea about bringing the community together. I think we see many of our chefs seeing each other for different award shows, and when we see each other is mainly like, how are you? You have a good time? We rarely go together and actually do something together. And the only rule with Convergence was that you needed to cook a dish at least. You could also cook two, and we gathered over 64 restaurants from all around the world. There was 5 continents represented, so bringing together the gastronomical world to bring some unity, to share some moments together, ideas, cooking together, and share that with the local community as well in Copenhagen. We actually have a lot of people fly in for this event, also for the symposium we did for over 1,200 people.
Those are crazy numbers, by the way.
Yeah,
when you hear all of them together, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it was quite amazing, and that energy was I think needed, and it was born by the frustration that the world is so fragmented right now, and we see so many wars starting, conflicts. It feels very fragmented, and in the culinary world, we don't see that as a. We don't see the borders in the same way. We meet about something and the passion and craftsmanship, and could we share a little bit of that? And I think that's what the food community can do, bring the unity, and we need that in more than ever, I would say.
I really think that was the message which got delivered at the end of the event. But let's say that since we have memory in our lives, pizza and fine dining have always been like the two opposite of the food spectrum. Like they couldn't be further, because on one level we have pizza, which used to be the most popular and down-to-earth piece of food in the world, and then we have fine dining, the refined system of cooking incredible and crazy food. And so now I would love to ask Franco, how was it at first for him, the first reaction he had when you invited him at Convergence, Rasmus? Because I know that this guy got pretty emotional. Let's see if he's honest sharing it.
Perché ridi?
Perché io rido, ti guardo rido, Franco. Comunque nel dubbio mi fa star bene.
Innanzitutto ciao a tutti ragazzi. Io non ci credevo. Cioè, ero veramente, sono rimasto scioccato dall'invito, e in realtà c'è stata pure una mia grande riflessione. Dove vado? Che cosa faccio con questo impasto? Lì. Io ho avuto una...
Io scusami Franco, visto che ero presente, ci tengo a testimoniare che anche a fine evento avevi ancora quella faccia lì, di chi si chiedeva cosa ci facesse.
Allora Paolo, io... secondo me ho scritto una delle pagine più belle della mia vita, del mio percorso lavorativo. Entrare lì, come lui c'era scritto, se vuole solo le t-shirt, ospite d'onore, cioè io sono un pizzaiolo, in realtà ho cercato di realizzare gli anni percorsi, il mio percorso lavorativo, le mie idee, le mie sfide.
Hi everybody, it's great to be here with all of you today. Well, I have to say I couldn't believe what I went through thanks to this event. I was really shocked. That was my first reaction when I received the invitation. I tried to share ideas, I tried to share food for thought, and my questions were, where am I going to go now? Or where do I have to go with this dough, for example? And I had the same face I have now at the moment while I'm speaking. I think it was one of the most beautiful pages in my life. I tried to keep up the good work I had done in the past, and I was invited as a special guest, and this was something shocking for me because, I mean, I'm a pizzaiolo, I'm a pizza maker. I tried to do that all over my life during my work path. I tried to share ideas, I tried to address challenges, and it was so emotional to take part in this event. So thank you very much.
E quindi l'emozione più bella è stata soprattutto quando mi sono trovato in cucina, perché io ho riflettuto, ho pensato a questo impasto che è stato lavorato a mano a Caiazzo, questo viaggio fino a Copenhagen. Io entrai in una cucina con dei grandissimi chef e dovevo dialogare col mio impasto. Non potevo andare a scioccare con il topping, ma dovevo lavorare col mio impasto, dovevo parlare a loro con il mio impasto. Io ho deciso di fare un impasto fritto, sia un trancio che un conetto, dove sia con Cile sia con Spazio Mare ho cercato di dialogare con loro. E la cosa più bella, sai qual è, Paolo? Che io quando cucinavo lì in questa fantastica cucina che sembra un qualcosa veramente un'astronave, io non mi concentravo tanto su quello che stavo facendo, io guardavo gli altri perché lì era un luogo di condivisione.
Aspetta che lo traduciamo che...
Okay, and I have to say that I had so many emotions. It was so beautiful to be in that kitchen. And I tried to go there with my own dough and something that was handcrafted, something I made in Caiazzo. So I went there and I had the opportunity to meet so many chefs from all over the world. It was kind of a dialogue, and this dialogue was thanks to my dough. So I was there with what I had produced, with the local produce. It was not about topping, it was about my own dough. And I wanted to have this kind of dialogue with them. I had a pan-fried dough, a slice, and a cone as well. It was kind of a space shuttle. It was so beautiful, so breathtaking. And I couldn't really focus on what I was doing because I was so touched and it was so emotional. And what I tried to do was to share as much as possible with each and every of them.
And now I would love to return to you, Rasmus, because even only picking Franco and a pizzaiolo, a pizza maker, for such a big event told us the real and deep respect you have for this word, for pizza in particular. But I also guess that Franco himself had a big role in changing your model in your mind of the pizzaiolo. Which was the main misconception you had about the pizza world before meeting that guy?
Oh, I could say a lot of things. I'm from a very conservative side of Jutland in Denmark, which is a very farmer side. And until the age of 16, I probably only eaten this. At home is not. I don't think we will find this pizza here. So I've seen Franco for different events and been privileged to taste some of the pizzas, and I must say it blew my mind. We also have a couple of very good pizza places in Copenhagen, but nothing comparable to what I've tasted from Franco. So I mean, that changed my perspective on pizza as well. I always, what can you say, respected the craft. I think there's a big dedication and skills going in to master the craft. It doesn't matter what you make, if it's pizza or ice cream or bakeries like pastries and so on. I think in our world, in the chef community, we are a little bit conservative in many ways. We are very much inviting each other. We need to have a restaurant. We need to be with either chef's knives or Michelin stars or so on. We also invited bars to participate in this because we want to showcase hospitality as well. And it was very natural for me to invite the greatest pizza chef in the world, like to contribute. And it was interesting and also amazing to see that there was chefs from all around the world, some of the highest accoladed chefs, and then there was Franco, which every chef had the biggest admiration for the skills, and that was what they wanted to taste the most. And I think it was amazing to bring it into a setting that it maybe is normally not considered as.
Also because in the end, the distance between what you are doing and what Franco is doing, it's not more than what you're doing with what a Mexican chef is doing in Tulum, right? If you had Jose Luis Nostroza with you, for example, it's more like different shades of the same art, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the similarities between pizza and, what can you say, fine dining is there's not a big difference. Maybe the label we put on top of things, but to see the dedication, the craft, the knowledge, the effort that was put in to make this, it was the same level as some of the greatest chefs in the world. And I definitely think it deserves to be part of that. And we're working on a Convergence too, and I can... on wheel, there will be pizza on all of the days, and not just one as a special guest.
Thank you, Rasmus. And Franco, you are considered one of the ones who elevated pizza towards something else. But do you think it's reasonable to talk about elevation, or do you think that pizza already had that dignity and we are just finding it out now?
Paolo, io dal 2017, quando ho creato Autentica, ho cercato di dialogare con gli chef, perché sentivo che mancava qualcosa dentro di me, no? E quindi l'idea mia era che loro potevano consegnarmi dei saperi che io non avevo, e il confronto poi era una grande sfida. Quindi il mio impasto, la loro creatività, e quindi alzare l'asticella sulla pizza, soprattutto sulla quello che può essere quello che mancava, soprattutto applicare delle tecniche di cucina al completamento del lavoro del pizzaiolo, che il pizzaiolo del passato è stato sempre bravo sugli impasti, ma una cucina applicata alla pizzeria sono gli ultimi anni, se è potuto vedere. E quindi io ho creato quel luogo e ho portato pure un piccolo video dove noi lì incontriamo gli chef, gli amici chef, che spontaneamente loro vengono da me, non è che li costringo a venire, che è una cosa bellissima. Il primo è stato José Alicà, tu lo sai benissimo, è bellissimo questo confronto. Io una cosa che voglio ringraziare Rasmus è che io me ne sono tornato da Copenhagen con tante emozioni, ma anche tanti saperi che ho visto lì in cucina. E per me quei confronti, quelle cucine sono sale di formazione, aule di formazione, quelle che manca un po' alla parte del pizzaiolo artigiano.
Anche se sei un maestro hai fatto un po' di stage.
Un po' di stage. Infatti io...
Traduciamo intanto questo, direi.
Yes, I'd like to add something just to answer your question. In 2017, I set up Authentica, and I have always tried to have a dialogue with other chefs from other parts of the world. And I felt like there was something missing in me. I wanted to complete what was missing. I wanted to try and find what was missing in me. And I tried to share this knowledge. I tried to learn from other chefs. I tried to add a little bit, a pinch of complexity to what I was already having. And I wanted, my goal was to raise the bar in a way, trying to add what was missing. So I wanted to apply dining techniques. I wanted to round off the Pizzaiolo's work, the pizza maker's work. I wanted to do something more sophisticated in a way. And I think that Pizzaioli are always very good when it comes to dough techniques, but sometimes we want to bring into the kitchen something more in order to create a pizzeria, in order to create something even more beautiful. So I think that this is what I created. I created kind of a place where chefs can meet each other, they can become friends, they can spontaneously meet each other. And what I found particularly beautiful is that so many chefs spontaneously came to me. I didn't oblige them to come to me. We met, we gathered, and it was great exchange of ideas, of experiences, a lot of food for thought. And in this sense, I'd like to thank Rasmus for the big emotions that I had there in Copenhagen. When I came back from Copenhagen, I felt so enriched with so much knowledge, so much ideas and food for thought and know-how. I saw so many people in the kitchen, and it was kind of a training room for me, a breeding ground for my training, for my professional growth. And this is something that was missing in an artisanal pizzaiolo, so something I could get thanks to this experience. So thank you once again.
Grazie mille. Thank you so much, Franco. And coming back to you, Rasmus, we often talk about what pizza borrows from fine dining, like Franco just did. But what do you think the fine dining world still has to learn from pizza, from your point of view, if there's something?
Yeah, there definitely is. I think, as I said, that the bridge is not that big. The gap is we craftsmen, both of us. We're doing different things and different styles, of course. But when you boil it all down, we do a craft and a skill. And maybe on a level where you can compare to art form, because is Franco's pizza just pizza? No, it's probably on a higher, more elevated level that you can compare to art. And he's a master of his arts, and I think we are the same within our field. And there's a lot of things to learn from each other. But it's more for me the craft, the philosophy, the dedication, and then what you categorize it on and what label you put on it. It doesn't really matter that much for me. But it was really one of the chefs on the event that I felt that was giving me most, both emotionally, but also like from the dedication they would put into things. When we ask all of the chefs about how long time do you need to call out your dish, my Italian staff member Paolo had asked Franco, and it was from 10 to 20 minutes, I think. And normally all of the chefs is like 3 minutes or 4 minutes call. But this was it depends on the dough. It depends on, is this ready to do? And I think that sensitive, feeling of being so driven by your craft, I think you can compare it to Japanese crafts and masters that dedicate themselves a whole life to do maybe one category of things. And that's maybe as chefs as we're doing, and I should try not to talk my own restaurant down, but we're doing a lot of things. We specialize in a lot of things, and are we really a master in all of those things? Probably not. So it's really nice to have some that have so much dedication within what they're doing, and we can learn from that.
Thank you so much again, Rasmus. And we're already super close to the end. As I promised, it was going to be harmless and smooth. But I wanted to ask to both of you guys, like, it's not a proper question, it's more a provocation. But since you both look at the future in a visionary world, in a visionary way, I would love to ask you how you see this industry changing, I mean the hospitality industry changing in the next 10 years? I'm going to ask it to almost any speaker just to collect ideas and hopes. Rasmus, if you want to start.
So the question is how the hospitality and restaurant
10
industry
years, let's say.
changing in 10 years. Yeah. Oh, I believe that the future of if you take fine dining and gastronomy in that way, I believe the future there will be more demand from guests to have experiences. I think we can see it on Alchemist from we started to now. There's been over 2 million people requesting a table. And that's many people that come for the experience, not just the food. So I believe that the future needs to be, within fine dining, need to be around equal the experience of that. And I mean, the experience can come from many ways. It can be a local farm, it can be the storytelling of your food, but I think it's not important, like it's not enough to only have a high craft. I think you need to have this other level to it as well. I think there will be a bigger demand in the future. I hope in the future as well we will define gastronomy on the highest level, whatever is pizza or it's sushi or fine dining.
Alchemist food.
Can we define that as an artistry and can we a discipline of art? I hope that we will achieve that within the next 10 years.
Thank you again, Rasmus. And Franco, you want to answer with your words or you want to show a video I know you brought for us?
Allora, rispondo prima con le parole e poi dopo ti faccio vedere il video.
Perfetto.
Allora, secondo me il futuro della pizza sta proprio sia nella formazione del pizzaiolo, che è una cosa importante, che va una formazione a 360 gradi dove c'è una cucina applicata alla pizzeria, ma l'esperienza, come diceva Erasmo, è alla base. Io l'ho dimostrata dal 2012 dove avevo un concetto di pizzeria diversa, cioè accogliere il cliente, non vendere la pizza ma regalare un'esperienza col mio unico impasto, fargli fare un'esperienza al fritto, al forno, salata al dolce, quindi raccontare un territorio e anche l'esperienza di viverla. Le camere in pizzeria è un messaggio dove vieni, dove stai lì, gusti, poi dopo puoi riposare, il giorno dopo l'esperienza dei miei produttori. C'è un'offerta diversa dal passato, non è vendere la pizza, ma regalare un'esperienza al cliente. E io da quando ho aperto lì, quando ti dicevo di autentica, non avrei mai pensato che tanti amici chef sarebbero arrivati a Caiazzo in quel vicolo, in quel paesino di 5.000 anime, oggi. E quindi l'idea di autentica è una cosa bellissima perché è un'esperienza fantastica. Lì c'è il fattore umano, c'è l'interazione tra me e il cliente e c'è l'esperienza perché creo e racconto il mio prodotto.
Okay, I'd like to answer the question and then we can watch a video maybe. Well, I think that as far as the future of pizza is concerned, it will be a matter of how to train pizza makers. This will be one of the key points in the future and one of the priorities we will have. So we are talking about an all-round experience, so 360-degree experience. Well, it is about cuisine applied to pizza making and not just pizza as such. Well, back in 2011, I came up with a new concept of pizza in the pizzeria. It is not just about welcoming the client, it is not just about selling a pizza, it is about giving a kind of a gift, giving something or a present. And this present is an experience, and this is what we want to share and what we want to give our clients and customers. And this is something that is possible thanks to my dough. So regardless of the type of dough, it can be fried, it can be wood, it can be oven, salty, sweet, any kind of dough, but it is really a life experience that we want to share and give to our customers. And I think it is about tasting the local produce, tasting the pizza, giving an experience, and also give them the opportunity to see the areas where the produce is sourced, because we are talking about locally sourced products. So once again, it is not just about selling a pizza, it is about about giving a gift, having a present. And this is something that I came up with Authentica. So many chefs coming to Caiazzo, a small village, a small city with 5,000 inhabitants, more or less. And the idea of sharing this beautiful experience, this wonderful experience, where we have a strong human factor that is at the very center of what we do, and also the idea of having an interaction with our customers. This is what I think will be the future.
So I would love to start asking you to give a big applause to both Rasmus Munk and Franco Pepe. Thank you guys for having been with us. And then Franco, we're gonna show if you wanna launch the video, we're gonna show it while we change the panel, and they ask the next speakers to get closer and ready, because we are gonna start with no stop.
Algo como es la pizza, que no deja de ser nada más un negocio importante, ha pensado en códigos de alta cocina para aplicar a un producto socialmente con tanto peso y que representa también la cocina italiana y la cocina popular en el mundo, ¿no? Entonces me emocioné.
Andiamo, Authentica è lì.
This was 2017, almost 10 years now.
Posso dire una cosa? Sono a scuola.
Abbiamo molti ingredienti di Barcellona, molti ingredienti di Messico, abbiamo fatto un po' di contaminazione.
Come è stato? Questa? Certo. Oh, ma che questa è la tua pizza.
Thanks again, once again. Yeah, you are waited in Authentica. You have to pass by. You will have to. Thanks again, Franco Pepe, Rasmus Munk. Here we are. We have to take a picture, and then you're free.